Know what it is and you know what we do. This is Casual Roundhouse Media, Fight Talk. Haven't done one of these in ages. There have been countless UFC fight nights and pay per views that have gone down since my last upload till now. And I'm not even going to get into UFC Fight Night Murphy versus Barboza on this upload specifically. I want to shed light on the MMA scene in the Carolinas because Fight For It and company put on their 20th combat sports event this past weekend in Raleigh, North Carolina. I had the privilege of attending and watching some of my teammates from Carolina Combat compete and do work. And there are a couple of other narratives and results and storylines that I want to elaborate on in this upload specifically because since Fight For It 20, it has created a lot of buzz for the MMA scene in the Carolinas, at least in my opinion, and I want to tribute to that. I want to share what I know. I want to share my knowledge. I want to share everything that I can in order for you to be as intrigued as I am for the talent that's coming out of this region. But Fight For It 20 this past weekend had a main event that was for the pro MMA lightweight title. A teammate of mine, Jonathan Martin, got a dominant decision victory against Paris Artis. Got that 5 round experience. Showed, in my opinion, that he's ready for the UFC and that he's got new wrinkles to his game that he can build on and use to his advantage in the future. And him versus Paris was a fight that, for the Carolinas specifically, had a lot of buzz surrounding it because I believe it was supposed to happen in previous years. But John put in a lot of work, make sure that there was no stone unturned and there was no doubt that he wasn't letting this fight slip away from him. And I got to witness that firsthand. And as a teammate, it's super motivating. So, congrats, John. And the future's ridiculously bright for John and a bunch of other members of the Carolina Combat Sports competition fight. Another teammate of mine that competed at Fight For 20 and who, in my opinion, got fight of the night was Ali Arsamakov, who went up against a very tough opponent in Mark Foster, who's somebody I've also had the privilege of training with in the past. And those two, without a doubt, brought the best out of each other. Mark is aggressive and very, very willing to throw himself into the fire and take chances, and the moments in that fight that were bigger belonged to him, which is, in my opinion, what gave him the nod. But it was a fight that was so tit for tat that it truly could have gone either way. Arsamakov showed a lot of things to build off of, and like I said, I think those two genuinely brought the absolute best out of each other and made each other better from that fight. It really could have gone either way, and it was just, in my opinion, fight of the night. I am incredibly proud of Ali because he showed the heart and willingness that a lot of our teammates were wanting to see, and it was against a tough kid. Mark is no joke. Mark's tough. I knew that going into this, and I'd be lying if I didn't admit that I was incredibly nervous when this fight was about to begin, but it couldn't have unfolded any better than it did, in my opinion. So, shout out to Mark and shout out to Ali. Y'all are both dogs. Next narrative from Fight 420 I want to get into revolves around the amateur lightweight MMA championship, which is held by Jacob Pais, and he is coming off submission victory at Fight 420. I believe it was a knee bar, and before he fought this past weekend, he fought in Winston-Salem, and before that, he fought in January and was supposed to fight another teammate of mine, Upright Odemena. And that is a fight that I still think should happen and eventually will happen. There's a lot of stuff that I'd rather not disclose online for upright's sake, because he is very talented and has been having to do things that have kept him away from the gym. But that is a fight that is going to happen. The more developed storyline of Jacob Pais is the beef that has been building up between him and Reddick of Modern Warrior MMA. Reddick is a very talented, undefeated amateur fighter and is somebody who was at Fight For It 20 as well. He was there when Jacob Pais called out Reddick following his victory. And there's just been a bunch of jabs between the two on social media since. And I believe the narrative is that Pais wants to fight D in July, which is when I believe the next Fight For It card will be occurring. It's going to be happening in Charlotte, I believe at the Grady Cole Center. But D already has a fight booked within another promotion in July and is wanting to fight Pais in September. And I guess it's just that's too far away for anything to be set in stone right now, but that's just causing a lot of back and forth between the two. And regardless, that's a fight that I'm really intrigued to see, because Pais, regardless of the way he portrays himself online, he's got skills and he's a dog and he's got that will. And when you are winning your fights, you can say whatever you want, truth be told. You're winning, can't nobody tell you anything. Regardless, there's another Pais brother who competed on Fight For It 20 this past weekend and was also impressive, and that was Drew Pais, who dominated his opponent from start to finish in the grappling, showed really impressive wrestling, wall work, and since Fight For It 20, Drew and Mark Foster have actually been in communication and are looking to potentially face each other on the July card, Charlotte. And that'd be super intriguing because I'm a former training partner of Mark's, and Drew Pais is no joke. So I would love to see him test himself against a tough challenge like that. But I'm just gonna double down on Jonathan Martin real quick, because he took a big risk in going to Fury FC earlier this year, and he showed that he belongs. He showed that he is right there. And despite that loss, for him to face that adversity and bounce back in the way he did is special, and it deserves its praise. And this is what that is. Not to mention, the guy that he faced at Fury FC 85, I believe, Manshakara, just got a very impressive finish again in his next appearance and looked to have improved striking significantly. So I'm intrigued to see John and Mancher potentially fight again down the line. But for now, John is right where he needs to be, and he's hungry. And that's all that I really feel that I need to say. Because as his teammate, I could go on and on and on, but I'm just going to let the results from now on show for themselves. But I also just really, like I said, wanted to shed light on the MMA scene within the Carolinas, because there is some buzz, whether you want to realize it and acknowledge it or not, because of how vastly large the MMA world is, despite how niche the community is. Every region deserves its attention and praise. So the UFC Fight Night Barboza versus Murphy upload will be next. I hope you guys enjoyed this little tangent rant for the Carolina MMA scene, and I'm going to see y'all in the next upload.